Welcome back to the studio. We're at IRX19 and I'm with Hugh from Exponea and we're having a little chat about CDPs, customer data platforms. So in a couple of minutes we're going to dig into that, but firstly Hugh, in case anyone doesn't know, tell us a bit about Exponea.
So Exponea transforms data into great relationships. We're built from the ground up as a CDP with direct execution layers built in, which are supported by AI decision-making capabilities. What does that mean to our customers? It basically enables them to make personalised experiences omni-channel at scale with the customer at the centre focus of what they're trying to achieve.
Now, because I'm old, I remember the first or second CRM revolution, where in the back end, people were trying to aggregate the many data silos into a thing that made sense to the customer. Then in e-com, we tried to take that internal data and push it out to the edge, delivery, web and then mobile. CDPs seem to be coming the other way, as if they're sort of born in the cloud, pushing back into the business. So what is the difference between them? The pluses behind it.
Between traditional CRMs and CDPs.
Yeah, so you've got this customer data platform, mainly in the cloud, slapping some AI in. Do I still need my CRM?
So the best way that I could think to rationalise it, because we do get asked this question a lot, is think about traditional CRMs. They're largely used in a B2B capacity. So they tend to be where you can go into a customer's contact, typical sales guy doing B2B sales, you've got the history, you make your notes. Whereas CDP sort of is slightly different, it's more for retail brands or B2C type organisations. And the reason for that is you don't necessarily have a team of people sat there going through the records. What you want is a system that provides you a single customer view, which can do that at scale, and we'll talk a bit about more of that in a second. But the system is able to make calculated decisions and remarket to those tens of thousands of people in hours, minutes, days, but able to react to that data set in real time. The fundamental difference, therefore, is a CRM ultimately, to categorise them, is largely B2B, and from a kind of B2C focus, that's why CDPs are really coming into their own.
That's interesting. And of course, in the example you give, a lot of them may not be customers, they're first-time visitors or purchasers. So there's a very strong behavioural, real-time aspect of CDP.
Yeah, 100%. So what CDPs do, or Exponea is a customer data platform and an analytics tool combined. The benefit of that is you've got the customer record, right? So you've got the name, gender, email address as the primary identifier. What you then also have is the ability to capture, to your point, visitor behaviour across different devices, across different channels. So if someone's interacting with your mobile web or mobile device, the website, we're collecting that behavioural information, which is anonymised cookie data. The minute they identify themselves, that is stitched together now, so I now know that this is Hugh Kimber. He's been looking at extra long sleeve shirts with a slightly quirky body shape. Knowing that information, when I come to then engage with the brand on whatever channel, one would expect that I'm getting targeted with items in stock that are in my size under my preferences.
Right. Now, you said omni-channel earlier on, we've mentioned channels again. One of the things that's interesting is this ability to orchestrate interactions across all our different techniques and touch points, things we used to call channels. Yeah. So is this something that you see as important now, this sort of merging or falling apart of the channels, or working together even?
It's actually working together is the right way. So I think historically we've seen organisations that have been very channel-centric. So if you go back to the kind of mid to late 2000s, you had your email team, your SEO, the PPC team. What we're seeing now and what we're responding to within our client base is this whole concept of customer centricity. So we've seen our first few clients create a function which is head of loyalty. Now I don't mean loyalty as in loyalty cards like the Marks & Spencer Sparks card, it's actually loyalty as in brand loyalty over time. And what that enables the brands to do, if you put the customer at the centre of what you do, the different channels, as it were, in a traditional sense, feed into that customer centricity approach. Therefore, it's a consistent message by default. So previously, I think the challenge is focus was too much on ROI. I'm spending this much money on SEO, what am I getting back? PPC, what am I getting back? It's now all about put the customer first. A byproduct of that is going to be better return on investment. It is going to be better wallet share. But I think now the number of organisations that are making that change, we're seeing. It was a few at first, and as it works, we're starting to see a lot more adopt that process.
Yeah. So a lot, I think, is to do with the fact that when a tool comes along, it's so new, you focus on the tool. But as things mature, you then get back to focusing on the customer and, more importantly, her money over time.
100%. So there's the point you made earlier is very interesting. The customer life cycle. So first-time visitor to first-time purchaser. to repeat purchaser, and then fundamentally I've got enough information about this individual now, I want to turn them into a loyal brand advocate, you should be using that data appropriately to make that happen, because the technologies are there now. And I think if you think about what the end game is or what you want to get to, and then you can work retrospectively back to what technologies can help support that process.
Great, well look, thanks for enlightening us on the CDP and those changes within retailers to take advantage of it. I'm slightly miffed that we recorded you giving that B2B versus B2C example, because otherwise I could have stolen it and used it. So if you see it in an editorial, full credit to Hugh. Thank you so much for sharing that with us.
No worries.
From the studio, bye.